Benicio del Toro, and then Ronan as the villain, who's not great. Pretty generic bad guy, but that kind of works in the film's favor because everybody else is so colorful. So then by contrast, he's just this lame generic bad guy to defeat. Suicide Squad is a giant starfish named Starro. And it's an alien. Oh, this is tough. I'm gonna go with Guardians of the Galaxy. I think the core team is a little bit more solid than, say, the Bloodsport and the Harley Quinn and the King Shark and Rat Girl. I don't remember her name. She's a sight though. What a beautiful actress. And Polka Dot Man. Well, Polka Dot guy died too, and he had mother issues. That was really funny. Freaking A. Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy takes the win. When it comes to the Suicide Squad, James Gunn definitely goes back to some of his roots from Slither and more of the R-rated affairs he's done, like Super. It's violent, it's gory, it's bloody. Looks beautiful though, all the same. Guardians of the Galaxy is also colorful, but it's got that Disney sheen on it. It's got that shine, that polish. It's very highly produced, and that music once again plays so well in this thing. These movies are both very comedic, both dialogue-wise and just some of the visuals that are put on display. In that respect, I think the visual comedy works better in the Suicide Squad than it did in Guardians of the Galaxy. Since he's able to get away with doing anything he wants, I can just see Gunn having fun with things, whether it's using polka dots to, burn people alive, or having a shark dude almost eat a woman. It's all very well handled. The Suicide Squad almost has a chronicle. I'm throwing out a movie that a lot of people probably haven't heard of. It was almost indie-ish, but it has almost a chronicle vibe where the camera's not quite shaky, but there's movement to it. There's those hard zoom-ins. There's a lot of effects that look like they're done practical, but they are definitely done with CG. It all blends really well together though, and I like the camera being more frantic in this. It makes you feel like you're in the moment more, as opposed to Guardians of the Galaxy where the camera's more tightly framed. We see a lot of those beautiful Marvel type shots where planes are flying, where stuff is blowing up. It's all very manicured. Visual eye candy though. I mean, some of those later moments where Groot makes his giant, comfort ball around everyone to have a good night's sleep while he dies in a plane crash. Really amazing visuals. I'm trying to think of anything that's comparable in the Suicide Squad, and the first thing that springs to mind is Harley Quinn floating in the eyeball of Starro as rats are gnawing at its face. Somehow James Gunn made that look like a visual feast. Literally. I have no issues with either, but I think creatively wise, and since I've seen so many Marvel movies that all look very familiar, I'm giving this round to the Suicide Squad. Even though this is from the twisted mind of James Gunn, these are very different tonally. I mean, you still have the staple James Gunn stuff of taking quirky, weird, unnatural characters and making them really feel grounded, really make them feel like relatable characters. If you can get me to fear for the safety of a man-eating killer shark dude, then you've done a great job in the script department. And that's exactly how I felt whenever King Shark was in danger. I said, I don't care if you kill everyone off. Keep the shark guy. I like him for some reason. And the same can be said for an experimental rocket creature. If you can get me to like him and a bunch of terrible individuals who are selfish and have no issue killing for their own safety, then you've done a great job again. And so in that department, they're similar. They also both have kick-ass music. We can't forget the awesome soundtracks in these things. I do think the theme in Guardians is a little bit more solid, and I do think the music overall is a little better. It's a little bit more catchy and memorable. It's basically part of that story, which is why I think it's so clever. Quill's got his tape recorder. He listens to it all the time. So it just makes for a more natural storytelling device. The Suicide Squad has a little bit of an advantage because it's like the second one in this whatever it's going to be, the series, even though it's pretty separated from the first. You don't need to see the first to know the second, but because the first did some of the legwork, we don't have to be reintroduced to some of the characters that are present here, like Harley Quinn and whatnot. We get to jump right into it. Whereas Guardians does have the arduous job of showing us new characters, talking about their pros and their cons, and letting us get to know them for a while. He does this so effortlessly though. There's no cheap montages getting to know these characters with a bunch of their names and stats shot onto the screen. No, instead they just come upon each other because the story leads them all to one central device, which is the sphere that contains one of the stones. Gunn does this again with the Suicide Squad, where we start the film out with Savant, a guy that I don't think most audience members know from the comic. I don't honestly know if he's from the comic, but we get a little information about him, what he's good at, and then we get that fish out of water scenario where they drop him into the water like a fish, and he sees what being part of this team entails and the absolute devastation it causes. All of his members are essentially wiped out. He's used as bait, and it's just a brilliant way to start out a film saying, no one is safe in this new version. I love the concept in Guardians, where these different characters from different parts of the galaxy all rush together to steal this one item. But once they realize what said item is capable of doing, they decide to put their bad morals behind them. Their baggage, we'll set it aside for now. We're gonna focus on working as a team to save the day, to save the universe. This again plays out in The Suicide Squad, where you have a ragtag group of just the worst type of people. They don't really give a crap about anyone but themselves, but for a multitude of reasons, they decide to team.
All right, here, we're live. We're doing it. I don't know where we're at in that throwback video, but you can find it on Adam Does Movies on the channel. Suicide Squad versus Guardians, whatever that was. We're seat of our pants today, folks. As always, hopefully we have audio. Hopefully we have video. I see Diesel's next to me. Kind of a meet and greet. He's up early. We don't need him yet. Let's just go ahead and hide that. Oh, it's been a day. It's been a day. Had a full day of work. Grilled some burgers. They turned out really well, actually. Let me slide over a little bit. Which way do I go? This way? Nope. This way. Watched Dumb and Dumber. Olivia watched half of it. She'd already seen it, so she's into the South Park now. She's 14. That's around the time that I started watching South Park. She's starting way back in season 1. I think she's on season 3 now. I don't think it really gets good until 5. I think 5 is when it really gets good. We have to watch the movie because that takes place, I believe, between seasons 2 and 3. So really, we already should have watched the movie. Got an itch on my nose. Apologize. Oof. So I'm sorry I'm late, as always. That seems to be a reoccurring thing now. But I'm trying to prep a little bit. Trying to get you guys a quality live show. Not just me sitting here talking the whole time. We have a fun prediction episode lined up. Only for the stream, only for the live. We're going to be looking at some of the biggest movies coming out for the rest of the year. Probably not all of them, but I grabbed a good amount. We're going to talk about the cost, predict how it's going to do, if it's going to bomb, if it's going to succeed, and if that's a good thing or not. As a point of order, the last time I predicted a movie was an entire dedicated one on Avatar 2, which still gets a lot of love. I appreciate people still coming to that video, calling me every name under the sun, laughing at me, blah, 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 because I titled it something salacious. Avatar 2 is going to bomb. This was months before it came out, and this was before I actually hated Avatar 2. I was genuinely looking forward to it. Anybody that knows me knows I'm a massive James Cameron fan. I did an entire documentary on him, which you can find on Screen Rant. 20 minutes long, did a lot of research. I'm a big fan of this guy, and I was really looking forward to Avatar 2. Because of how, COVID was going and the theaters weren't getting people out, Avatar 2 and Maverick were basically the two movies of that year that pretty much saved cinema. Like big budget cinema drove people out. But going into it, I had no idea. I was reading the tea leaves wrong, and I was worried. I thought, okay, I know in James Cameron we always trust. He always brings the box office. But even I was losing faith in Cameron because Avatar 2 had taken so long and because of just the state of everything else. I was worried. So I predicted that Avatar 2 would not make back its money. Thankfully it did, not because I like the movie, but because I want to see movies succeed so that we keep getting them in the theaters and not the trash that they shit out onto Disney Plus. Let me jump in the comments after that amazing introduction, I think, and make sure that people can hear me. So I'm going to say all that and people will be like, hey, your audio's not working. Okay, we have people in here. That's good. People stuck around. Let the snarkiness begin, says Rob. Yeah, that's exactly right. I should point out, Super Chat's always the name of the game. Looks like I'm really blown out in this video. Pretty white balanced out to high hell. I could fix that. I'm not sure if it's necessary. We're going to go with it, I think. Anyway, yeah, we're going to do this whole little box office thing. Super Chats at the end. I mean, you can put them out at any time, but if you want to ask me a question and have me address you, please leave a Super Chat. This takes time, energy, everything else. Jan says, hi, Adam. Hey, Adam. Yeah, yes. Hey, Jan. Appreciate that. Matt agrees about Avatar 2. Bubba says audio's good. Hey, Tony's in the chat. Is he really? Oh, he is. It's a lie. Tony's in the chat. Tony didn't keep the trailer reaction debate going. I had a lot of big plans for that, so it's a shame. He got too busy. He's too important for this rinky-dink little channel. I was going to do like backroom like phone calls with him where I'm yelling and there would be, subtitles so you could hear what we were saying. There was going to be a big dick measuring contest. Maybe in the future we'll keep that going. Let's dive in. Let's just dive in. And now I can bring up my posters. Here we are. Remember this? If you were on the last live, you would see that I dissected the Fast and the Furious posters. This is a twofer today, folks. I have posters set up for each movie that I'm going to be talking about, so I will do a tiny little poster breakdown for you. I know some people like them, some people don't. We'll make them quick. If you stick around to the end of this live chat, this live stream, I also have one little piece of fun information, a show that is coming back in some form. I make these announcements all the time, but this is legit. I'm filming them this weekend, actually. I'm filming a bunch of them, and they're going to be ready to release every month. So, exciting show coming back. End of the live stream, we'll talk about it. Here we go. Fast and the Furious 10. What are the thoughts? Is it going to bomb? Is it going to make money? I have a document that I have quickly pulled out of my ass. That's why you guys were waiting around, because I was doing this for us all. Fast and the Furious 9 made $726 million globally. 726.2 million if we have to be really touchy about it. Fast X, however, has a budget of $340 million. That's insane. Why? Why does it cost so much? I understand that Diesel's probably making a good 40 million on these things. You got Brewster in there. You got Michelle Rodriguez. Maybe Jason Statham's pulling in 10 million. I don't know what these guys, but there's a huge cast of characters. Charlize Theron's in them, Brie Larson. They're probably getting decent paychecks. But 340 million. It's gonna make it back. We know it. Fast and the Furious movies have such broad appeal because it pulls in all walks of life. Every political side is going out, every religious side. They all rally around Dom and his dumbass friends for one last ride. And yes, we did get some news today. I saw that this is supposedly not just part one of part two, but part one of three new Fast and the Furious movies. X, X2, X3. It's insane. It needs to end, but it never will until Diesel's buried 6 feet under. And then Dwayne Johnson will officially take over because he'll live forever. Yeah, Fast X is going to do fine. The last one made 726. This one is going to... This one does seem... I mean, obviously it's bigger, it's louder, it's dumber, it's got more star power than the last one even. I think it's going to do about the same, honestly. I don't know why they're spending so much. They could make more money if they spent less. And from the shit I'm seeing on the screen, maybe they should. Maybe spend not even half of that and bring it back to street racing a little bit more. Just my thoughts. Just my thoughts on that. Let's go to the next one. Oh, I should also say, I already did the breakdown of this poster. It's not good. It's Floating Heads. Floating Heads is the cheap ass way. I gotta go this way more. Floating Heads is the cheap ass way that they build out posters now because they don't actually have artwork for said poster. They rarely ever hire agencies for this stuff. It's in-house or it's shout out to the one company they use for all of them, mass produced. They don't have a dude actually paint these anymore, which used to be the iconic thing they did back in the day. Yeah, this is what you get. 14 floating heads of stars overlaid on top of some special mountain out somewhere with a cross on it. It's a real place. I forgot what it's called. Let's move to the next one. Little Mermaid. The Little Mermaid. $200 million budget on this one, which is odd because you would think they would save a lot of money on storyboards and the script since it's already done from the animated classic. Also, the star power is not that big. Halle Bailey, relatively unknown in the acting world. I know she's into singing. Obviously, she's into singing. She sounds amazing. But I don't think she's been in really any movies that I can put my dick on. Who else? It's kind of a bunch of, Melissa McCarthy as Ursula. So 200 million is really going into the poor looking CG fish and crabs and all that stuff underwater. You put that next to Avatar 2. Visually, holy shit, it looks bad. They maybe should have consulted James Cameron about how to do this underwater, under the sea stuff, or just not done this movie. But here's the harsh reality, folks. Beauty and the Beast grossed $1.2 billion. The Lion King live action did even more than that. Aladdin grossed a ton as well. Let's see what Aladdin grossed. Aladdin, 2019 box office. Over $1 billion. 1.54. 1.05. 1,054 million? Is that how you do that? That can't be right. Yeah, I think that's right. That's a lot of money. For a very mediocre movie, Disney sells nostalgia. People will see this stuff. The whole go woke, go broke crowd that just seems to arbitrarily yell it at whatever they want, that doesn't make any sense. This movie's called Woke. It's going to make a lot of money. A lot of money. I'm guessing not a billion. It might get, I'm going to say billion. I'm going to say $1 billion because the last 3 live action remakes of the big tentpole classic golden age ones made $1 billion. Lion King. What did Lion King 2019 box office? 1.6 billion. I think it's in the top 10 highest grossing of all time list. Top 20 for sure. Absolutely disgusting amounts of money these are pulling in. I should also predict whether or not... Okay, we should do another prediction on top of our prediction. Multiple predictions. Fast and the Furious 10 is going to be terrible. That's my prediction. Fast 9 was garbage. Some of them in the middle I thought were pretty good. But 9 was hot trash. 10's going to be trash. This movie, The Little Mermaid, I think it's going to be watchable crap. Just like Beauty and the Beast and just like Aladdin were watchable crap. This will be, kids will like it. Probably not my kids because they're growing up in a jaded, cynical household and they've actually seen good movies. They don't have any desire to see this. I will sadly probably be going to this movie by myself. I don't think I can get my kids to go to this. But a lot of parents and a lot of kids probably will enjoy it. Harkens back to the good old days. And yeah, so I'm going to say a mediocre movie is my prediction. Now, as far as this poster is concerned, it's actually a good poster. I like this. There's a lot going on. It looks colorful. Ariel's, very well lit up. She's got some nice sun rays coming in from the sky into the ocean. There's a lot going on here, but it's all pulling into Ariel. You'll see like all the fish are swimming around, but they're all pointing right at the central character. You have Ursula kind of looming in the distance above. I'm not sure I like the position of Ursula right above her like that. It just looks more like a statue, like trident on the side. Some of the stuff behind her doesn't really look lifelike. It looks like statuesque. And what the hell's going on? Oh no. Up in the top right corner, is that the prince? I think his name is Prince Eric. That's terrible. If he's just superimposed up there like that, that's really bad. But everything from Ariel down is pretty solid. On the poster. And on the actress. Let's move on. Dun 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 dun. Don't tell me this is gonna bomb. Watch it. Hey, watch it. This movie, let's see what the last one did. Skidididdy, slidididdy. Oh, also, besides the Q&A super chat, if you want to comment directly to me about what you think a movie's going to do, because I'm not really looking at the chat at all, that would get my attention, and I would read that off as well. Like, hey, Bubba thinks Little Mermaid's going to bomb because it's woke and awful. Okay, so Indiana Jones 4. That's the one with the fridge getting nuked and Shia LaBeouf swinging with the monkeys, the aliens and all that. That made $790 million. That one did. Off a $250 million budget. Oh no, I'm sorry. Indiana Jones 5 has a $250 million budget. That's a big budget. I think it's going to do fine. I know people are saying it's going to bomb. I don't think it's going to bomb. I think it's going to do well. People like Indiana Jones, even though Harrison Ford is 1,000 years old, he's Indiana Bones, dusting it off, dusting off the hat and the whip and going out for one last ride. There's so many of these going out for one last rides, I feel like. Fast X, one last ride. Guardians of the Galaxy 3, one last ride. Little Mermaid, one last ride. Well, maybe not that one. Indy 4 made $790 million. I don't think it's going to do those numbers, but I do think we're looking at maybe around the 600, 650 mark. It'll make back its costs and it'll double. It needs a lot of these movies, I believe, from what I've read on the internets, you need to double your budget. So if a movie costs $300 million to make, you need to make $600 million. I mean, James Cameron basically said that his movie cost $500 million. He needed to make $1 billion basically to break even. Yeah, now is Indiana Jones 5 going to be good? It's James Mangold. He did Ford v Ferrari. He did Logan, both of which were excellent movies. I think he did one other one that I really liked. He's 3 for 3 for me. Mangold, IMDb. Logan. Okay, I didn't see. Oh, I did see Walk the Line. He directed that? Walk the Line was fine too. I didn't see Heavy. That was his first one. Quite a while before Walk the Line, actually. Yeah, so he's making good movies. I think that it's going to be good. I really do think Indiana Jones 5 is going to be a fun romp with Harrison Ford again. Old Harrison, still in the saddle. Some of these posters, I don't know if this is official. I don't think it is. Christ. It's fine. It kind of looks like it's maybe a painting. Maybe someone painted this. I can't tell anymore with all the artificial stuff and everything. This does very little for me. I'll just say that much. It looks like an old man with a hat. Nose is kind of crooked, kind of like mine is. Probably has bad, like sinus issues like I do. I understand, Indy. This doesn't scream iconic, even though I think that's what it's going for. Let's not spend a lot of time on this. I have no idea. I grabbed what I could find in a madcap dash to get something out here for us tonight. We're going to move on. Okay, here's a big one. Is it Oppenheimer or Oppenheimer? It's about the dude that invented the nuclear bomb, the atom bomb. I call it an atom bomb because that's my name, and I'm da bomb. Remember when people said da bomb? That was cool. I want to point out that I never said da bomb once in my life. Not even, I don't think, sarcastically like I just did now. Back in high school, people legit said, this is the bomb, then it became da bomb, and I just wanted to bomb all of them. Okay, Oppenheimer, Heimlich maneuver. It's going to be good. It's going to be very good. In Christopher, we trust. In Christopher Nolan, he hasn't made... Well, I shouldn't say he hasn't made a bad movie. He's misstepped. I think Tenet was a bit much. It was a bit too Nolan-esque for even me. I watched it twice, and I did enjoy it more the second time when I was understanding it better. But man, it's a little too up its own ass, for sure. I think this one's going to be a lot more straightforward. He's still going to play with the music cues like he always likes to do, build up the suspense. It'll probably be more Hans Zimmer bassy score, which I love, that brassy score. It's going to be a visual feast. And it's a visual beast because it only costs, I believe, $100 million to make. Yeah, $100 million to make this one. Nolan does use a lot of practical effects. So I think we are in for a doozy of a film. I really do think this is going to be great. I love Dunkirk. That made $527 million. Honestly, not as much as I thought it made. War movies tend to be a pretty good sell for people, at least in America. Maybe out of the country it didn't do as well, but globally $527 million. Tenet made $365 million. Now, Tenet came out during COVID. It had a tough hill to climb. I'm amazed it even made $365 million, to be honest with you. I think it was one of the last movies before the big, kind of purge, the big lull, that went to theaters because Christopher Nolan's like, they can go get COVID and see this movie. It's worth it. It's worth the death of your grandparents. Get out and see it. Take ivermectin or whatever the hell the kids are peddling. Oppenheimer is going to be good. I think it's Oppenheimer. Going to be really good. And it's going to make money, especially at $100 million. I mean, come on. I don't think it's going to do Dunkirk levels because I think that was a pretty special movie. I'm going to split the difference between this 365, 527. We're going to put it around 420. Huh? Smoke weed every day. 420 mil in Christopher Nolan's checking account. Maybe in the Caymans somewhere. Keep in mind, these movies, they're kind of in order right now, but I can assure you they're not going to be in order, and I'm not doing all of them. These are the ones that Google showed me were coming out, and the ones that it didn't show me but I remembered were coming out this year. I'm probably missing. I already know Into the Across the Spider-Verse. I forgot to put that on here before I started the stream, so I don't have a poster for it. But we will do a dedicated Across the Spider-Verse video going over some of the beautiful artistic photos and posters that they've created. As far as that movie goes, it's going to make a lot of money. We all know that. That's a easy sell. Animated Spider-Man based off of a amazing last Into the Spider-Verse. Yeah, easy sell. Kraven the Hunter. Now things have gotten interesting. From the people that brought you Venom, and Venom Let There Be Garbage, and that pile of shit Morbius, critically acclaimed, I'm sorry, cinematic tour de force Morbius, comes Kraven the Hunter, starring everyone's favorite boring-ass actor, Aaron Taylor Johnson, who I will say was actually very good in Bullet Train. Very good in Bullet Train. He kind of won me over there. Outside of that, though, I don't get this guy's appeal. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't get his appeal. He is the male version of Aquafina to me. Less annoying on the ears, but yeah. Kraven's not going to do well. I'm going to go out and say Kraven's not going to do well. It's going to bomb. Morbius bombed, from what I recall. Kraven has a $130 million budget. It's a Sony movie. Sony's pretty notorious for making shit films. I think it's going to be an awful movie. I think it might be worse than Morbius based on the zero that I've seen of it so far. That's how little faith I have in both Sony and in their bizarre Rogues Gallery Spider-Man villains catalog. Anti-hero catalog, whatever it's called. Costs $130 million to make. It's gonna gross. I don't know how this will do overseas. It's gonna gross $150 million. What did Morbius gross? Morbius box office gross. Morbius made $167 million. And what did I say that Kraven was going to make? 150? That's a pretty good guess. I might pare back on that now, actually. Maybe 100 and... Does it even make back its budget? Fuck it. It's going to make $130 million. I'm going to say it makes exactly what it costs to make. So therefore, it loses a lot of money. This is really not a poster. It's just the title. Again, I don't think they have... It's too early on some of these to get artwork, I guess. It's a logo of the Kraven title. There's some J.J. Abrams lens flare going on. It's a nice font treatment. I like how the K and the N sharpen like teeth. It's a nice serif font. Really aggressive, though, on that second lens flare under the U of Hunter. Okay, well, whatever. It's a fine logo poster, I guess. It's a better logo than I can do, I'll tell you that. I suck at logo design. I really do. Elemental. Disney, Pixar. Rarely miss. Rarely miss. This was pretty cheap, too, I believe, for them to make. I read $60 million. Is 3D animation that cheap nowadays? Do they have it down to an art? They probably do over at Disney. This is going to be a great movie. It's the team that gave us Inside Out and a lot of the other classics. It's going to be really good. It's going to be sad. Happy, funny, everything you come to look for from a Disney Pixar vehicle. As far as the revenue, $60 million. Is that seriously all it costs? Someone can look that up and correct me, I guess, in the chat. But what did Inside Out make? Inside Out made $858 million. I don't think Elemental's going to do those numbers. Maybe, God, Mario did so... How much did Mario make? Mario Brothers 2023 box office. 1.178 billion. Oh my gosh. $1.1 billion. What you... Elemental movie release date. Elemental's coming out June 16th. Oh my god, that comes out in a month. I genuinely had no idea. That's a weird time for I guess just a summer movie. I'm gonna say $700 million. No, yeah, $700 million. Elemental's gonna make $700 million. And I think it's going to be good. As far as the poster's concerned, I kind of hate it. Because I know that Pixar can make brilliant, beautiful posters. This is just trash. This is something you see set up at a Walmart when you walk into the store. And Elemental's now on sale in the DVD department. That's the poster that they put up there. That says aisle 12 or something. This is bad. I mean, it's not even a poster. It's just two characters smiling at each other. Obviously nicely rendered. But no, nothing about that's creative or different. Hate it. Again, though, I don't even know if these are all official. Dune 2. Cruise Control. So this was an interesting one. Dune, I saw in theaters. This was also a COVID film. And I do think it still made a decent amount of money. But they were worried that this was a situation where they announced that it was a two-parter, like really late. I feel like it was very misleading. I didn't know it was a part one even when I went to see it in theaters until the poster showed it like tiny lettering. And I think I read somewhere that the director didn't even have sign-off for the second movie. It was all based on how well this first one did. Thankfully, it did well. Dune was pretty awesome. It made... Do I have it on here? $402 million. It cost $122 million. $402 million pull is pretty good during a pandemic. It probably would have done a lot better. So this one's a lot less... Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. The first movie didn't even cost... Oh no, I'm right. The first film's budget was $122 million. Dune 2's budget is $40 million less than that. So around $82 million. I just did that math in my head. I don't know if that's right, but it's around that. Which is pretty damn cheap considering what you're getting. Hopefully we get a great movie. I think it is going to be pretty awesome. This director, he did Arrival. He's done a few other really good movies. Let me look him up quick. Arrival's brilliant though. If you haven't seen Arrival, I love that movie. Oh yeah, I can never say this guy's name. Denis Villeneuve, something French or something. He's done Blade Runner. That was the other one. Blade Runner 2049. All of his movies kind of, I feel like could not make money, or they could. Blade Runner, I think, actually didn't do very well. Blade Runner 2049. He did Sicario as well, and Prisoners. Prisoners was amazingly directed. I just really hated that ending. Sometimes I don't want an artsy, abstract ending, will they, won't they sort of a situation, and Prisoners was not the time for that for me. Maybe a rewatch, I would like it more, but I don't want to rewatch it. I really don't. Yeah, I think Dune 2 is going to be good. This poster, again, I don't, is this a real poster for the movie? Or is this just a screenshot from a scene in the film someone took and then threw the Dune on there? Because I could easily do that in Photoshop. First thing that stands out is that person has back pain, or is going to very shortly after this. I hope they're drinking some milk. That's all, because osteoporosis is going to be a bitch. The sand dunes, the waterfall of sand kind of cascading in front. This reminds me of Vertical Limit when Christopher O'Donnell does this. Yeah! Hooks into the side of the mountain. I don't like this poster at all if this is real. I really don't. The position the person's in isn't appealing. My eye's not really sure where to go. Obviously, the sand on the side is trying to pull me down to the title. It's trying its best. We read right to left. That's how we view things. But the title's in white on a lighter color. You really can't make things out very well. Not a fan of this poster. Not at all. Oh, gross. This poster is even worse. Every time I see this poster, it reminds me of like a woman's special place opening up and revealing the splendor that is strong female lead. And honestly, it's about time. A lot of colors here. This is going to be an interesting one to see play out. The first Captain Marvel was a massive success. Another one of those go woke, go broke things that idiots say that it makes no sense because it doesn't make sense. The first Marvel movie made $1.1 billion. Captain Marvel. Of course, there's a lot of reasons at play. One, and I think this is the biggest and almost sole reason why it made $1.1 billion. It was wedged between Infinity War and Endgame. People knew Captain Marvel was going to be in Endgame, so we wanted to get to know her before seeing that film, because she was just going to show up out of nowhere and we're supposed to be like, oh, yep, we know her, she's great. Or, yep, we know her, heavy eye roll. It was the second one for most of us. But I do think, and I know people don't agree, but I think the Marvels movie looks a lot better than Captain Marvel. I don't think it's going to gross as much as Captain Marvel, but I do think it looks a lot more fun. And they're definitely going for a younger audience, and they're definitely skimping on the budget this time. This thing's only $130 million, which kind of surprised me. But I do remember the trailer not looking that impressive from a visual standpoint. It looks a lot more silly, a lot more childish. You have Kamala Khan in there. You have, I can't remember the chick's name from, what was she in? Rambeau? Was it Rambeau? Monica Rambeau's daughter. Can't remember. Maybe it is Monica Rambeau. Regardless, there's the three ladies. They're swapping powers, a la Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer. I think it's going to be a decent movie. I don't think it's going to be amazing by any means. But, I mean, a decent movie out of the MCU now, outside of Guardians in this phase, is a breath of fresh air. I think the Marvels will not bomb. For sure won't bomb. I'm going to put it at, what did Ant-Man and the Wasp make? That will be a good Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, box office. Ant-Man and the Wasp made $475 million. Oof, that is not very good. I think the Marvels is going to do about that. I'm gonna say $400 million for the Marvels. And the fact that it has a $130 million budget, it's going to make money. It's going to make its money back. It's not going to set the world ablaze financially or film quality wise. So I don't think have I predicted any bombs yet. I'm being very optimistic about a lot of things. Yeah. Kraven. Kraven's the only bomb so far. I think the rest of them are all gonna be safe. What's next on the hit list? And honestly, I think what are we more optimistic than cynical? So Fast X's gonna suck. Little Mermaid's gonna be mediocre, so I'm gonna put that in the middle category. God, it could suck though, but I'm gonna put it in the mediocre category. Indiana Jones is gonna be good. Oppenheimer's good. Kraven sucks. Elemental's good. Dune 2's good. Marvel's is good. So we have 5 goods, a mediocre, and like 2 bads, 1 bad, possibly 2, 3. Yeah, we're more optimistic so far on this list. Let's see what Transformers brings us. I think it's gonna be a Transformers movie. Here's where I stand on Transformers. First one I enjoy quite a bit. Second one's garbage, but I can watch it. It's like eating fast food. You know it's bad, you know it's bad for you, but it still has enough that I like with the characters and the explosions and the nonsense that I'm willing to forgive how terrible it is. Bear in mind, Transformers 2 is terrible. And it was a massive step down from Transformers and ruined everything going forward. That said, these movies get so bad that Transformers 2, by comparison, is okay. Transformers 3 is, I guess, maybe better than 2. But I also think it's longer and I don't want to sit there and watch. And they got rid of Megan Fox and replaced her with some dumbass blonde that I don't care for. She's forgettable, and she's not Megan Fox. So yeah, 2 wins. And I think these movies are probably perfectly ordered as far as their quality. 1 is the best, 2 is the next, 3 is the next, 4 is the next, 5. By the time we get to 5, all bets are off. The movie franchise is completely dead in the water. Mark Wahlberg's there. Hey guys, I think we just found a Transformer. Whoa, cool. Optimus, help. Oh no. Hey guys, I'm Mark Wahlberg. What's going on? It's just terrible. Bumblebee brings things back to the good old Transformers days. It looks more like the iconic character from the 80s or 90s cartoon, whenever that shit came out. It's a fun movie. It's a good family movie. This one, I guess, takes place after Bumblebee, but it's apparently not a prequel anymore to the Michael Bay movies, even though the Bumblebee movie was a prequel to the Michael Bay movies and set it up. At the end of Bumblebee, we have Sam Witwicky's Bumblebee car in the used parking lot where, Bernie Mac worked? R.I.P.? I think Bernie Mac died, right? Pouring out for Mac, Return of the Mac. Transformers Rise of the Beasts, I think, is probably going to be bad. But Transformers bad, which means I'm going to enjoy it enough to not hate it. But I think it's probably going to be a bad movie. I think it's going to be worse than Bumblebee, worse than the original Transformers. I like that the designs are a blending of both old and Michael Bay new. Yeah, from what I've seen in the trailer, I don't know. It looks like a hot mess. But maybe it'll be more than meets the eye. As far as this poster, it's a Photoshop render. We have a giant Optimus who kind of fades off in the distance. And then there's another version of Optimus screeching in his truck. But what is happening to the truck? I genuinely cannot make out what's going on in this poster. Is the truck transforming? Is there 2 vehicles colliding? That might be what's going on. One of them's a uglier looking semi-truck. The other's Optimus. This whole thing's kind of an Optimus crime. And it's Optimus time they do something about it, because I think you get rid of all the shenanigans going on underneath Optimus's crotch area. Just make Optimus the poster. You got a good, easy breezy cover girl. But instead, we have this amalgamation of different things happening, and I just can't make heads or tails of any of it. Not a good poster. There's no story here. There's nothing. It's bedlam. Flash. Oh, did we predict I'm sorry, we didn't predict if it was going to make money. Transformers, this one costs $200 million to make. Let me back up so that we're on the same poster page. Nope, that was too far back. This is a $200 million movie. Bumblebee made... Where is it? I lost my... Bumblebee made $468 million. Transformers Rise of the Beast cost $200 million. I think Bumblebee was a little quainter. I think people were already burnt by the Transformers franchise. This one's trying to reinvent it, bring it all back. I'm going to give it a generous $550 million box office gross. I'm going to say it's going to make money. It's going to make a decent amount of money, enough to warrant another film after. We have Unicron in this thing. He's the big bad. I can't imagine they're going to destroy him in this film. This has to set up a sequel. You do not waste Unicron. He is the big bad of Transformers. He's the he eats planets. They shouldn't have introduced him yet. But they did. Now we have to line it. Okay, Flash. This one's not too long away. Budget on this one's pretty big, I believe. $220 million for this bad boy. We got Michael Keaton back. We got a Supergirl in this. Kara, who cares? And then Ezra Miller, who's, I believe, convicted of several pretty disturbing things at the helm. So that's fun. That's always nice. I don't think general audiences give a shit about the DCEU being dead or being rebooted as DCU in a couple years. No one cares except for us nerds. I think they see Batman in a trailer. I think they see a lot of pretty explosions. They see the Flash running around. And that's going to be enough to bring them into the theater. I'm going to give this one a generous $700 million. Hang on. What did Aquaman? I think Aquaman made a shit ton of money. Aquaman made $1.1 billion? That's insane. That movie's not even that good. That movie's pretty bad, actually, if I remember right. It's like 70 hours long. It's got 4 different storylines. 1.1 billion, Jesus. Flash is going to make $800+ million. It's going to be a very big win for DCU, which is coming hot off the heels of a pretty dismal box office for both Black Adam and Shazam 2. Shazam 2 made, oh God, 57 million in the United States and Canada and 75 million other territories. 133 million. That's brutal. What did Black Adam make? Black Adam made just shy of 400 million. 393. Yeah, I feel comfortable with Flash doing quite a bit better than both of those movies. I don't think Dwayne Johnson movies generate a huge amount of money typically. I think they always make money and do well enough, but I don't think any of them are ever huge. Jumanji's probably his biggest franchise. And I do think it made a lot of money. Jumanji. God, I hate to have to type Jumanji 2. They pretended it was a sequel. Jumanji: The Next Level made $801 million. What did Welcome to the Jungle make? Oh my God. Welcome to the Jungle made just shy of $1 billion. Why did they not make a third or fourth Jumanji movie? The Next Level set up a sequel and then they just didn't do anymore. These movies made a ton of money. What is going on? Why is Dwayne Johnson doing Moana when he can be back on an island making another Jumanji movie? It's such easy money. And they set up a sequel. Bizarre. Flash is going to do well. I think it is. I think it's going to make... Yeah, I'm going to go in the 800 range. 800 million. If Aquaman can make over $1 billion, I understand that was a different time. I think Flash is going to do it. All right, what else? Got so many tabs and things open. Close some of this crap down. Oh, as far as the poster. Oh, and I think Flash is going to be good. I do. I think it's going to be a freaking good movie. Great? I'm not sure I would say great. I think it's going to be a bombastic blockbuster, which is what I want to see at the theater. I think Keaton's Batman is probably going to have 20 minutes of screen time, and I'm going to be okay with it. Poster is weird. I've not liked a lot of these posters. This poster kind of sucks. What am I looking at here? Flash is in a bizarre pose, not heroic at all. Kind of a female ass pose, to be honest with you. This is not what you generally see the male protagonist doing in a poster. And he's very far away. They're trying to show you the breadth of what's around him, but he's in a boring ass bat cave, I think. It's hard to even tell. I know the bat plane or whatever is overhead. Just looks like a bat symbol that they kind of scaled wrong. It's like a kid using Photoshop for the first time, and he doesn't know how to keep the ratio properly, so he just pulls in on the corner and makes it too skinny. The scale is all confused. Harsh light beaming in on him, kind of a savior shot, and then that ugly gold logo down there, which I think they've changed several times now. I think the newest version has the bat symbol in there, the Supergirl symbol, and the Flash, of course. Pretty bad all around. The color also, we got red in one spot and then blue everywhere. This is a terrible poster. When you're going to introduce a color, first off, I don't see any tertiary, like third color. The secondary and the first color don't play off each other even. The blue and the gold work, but this red is just in there, and then there's no red tying anything else together. Terrible. Here we have a scarab for the Blue Beetle. This movie looks like ass. I'm just going to come out and say it. That trailer was atrocious for this movie. It feels like a film that got the Suicide Squad treatment. Is it David S. Goyer that did that? Maybe not. I can't remember the director, but he's still bitching about how he wants to release his cut. This reeks of that, where the movie wasn't very interesting and then they just threw color at everything. They just tried to jazz it up. Maybe that's not the case, but that's what it feels like. Blue Beetle has a smaller budget, I think. Oh no, it's $150 million. When the X-Men came out by Fox, the budget for that first movie was only, I think, $40 million, or it was even under that, I think. X-Men 1 movie budget. Okay, I'm wrong. It was $75 million. But even then, that seems pretty small what was Spider-Man's budget at the same time? Spider. Why is my computer not working anymore? Here we go. Spider-Man budget. Yeah, the first Spider-Man had a $139 million budget. That's a lot riskier. I understand that with inflation and everything, these numbers are not quite one-to-one, but $150 million off of a brand new character that only 3 people have heard of from the comics, that's a risk I would not take. Warner Brothers. And Warner Brothers is already kind of losing their ass on a lot of these movies. Blue Beetle, I don't foresee that one doing well at all. I'm going to throw a... God, I'm going to throw a Shazam number at it. 135 million. Unless it has legs overseas, 135 million. That's where I sit with Blue Beetle. It's going to bomb. And it's not going to be good. And this isn't really a poster. This is cool. This looks slick, but it's more of a teaser than an actual movie poster. I would never put that up. So there's not much to say on it. But the colors, the shininess of it all, it's very neat. Nice render. This is definitely not an official poster. I couldn't find one. Which is weird, because it comes out this year, and we haven't seen anything on this movie, have we? Has there been a trailer? Or a teaser? A screenshot? Anything? Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. $205 million budget. First one grossed almost $1 billion, I think I said. I don't think this one's going to do near as well, because I don't think a lot of people loved the first movie. They tolerated it. Jason Momoa doesn't really have the same... Well, I mean, the ladies love him. But I don't know if he has that star power draw that they need for this to make a ton of money. I think it's going to do Black Adam numbers, to be honest. I'm going to put it at $400 million. Just enough to... turn a little bit of profit. I'm going to say it's around the $400 million mark. And I don't think it's going to be good. Because I didn't think the first Aquaman was good. And I don't really care about the character. I have nothing holding me to this movie. Yeah, no thanks. Aquaman 2 can take a dive. This isn't a poster, and if it was, it would be atrocious and an embarrassment. This looks completely fake on the Photoshop. I proportionately, I don't know what's happening with any of it. The ugly blue title gradient completely conflicts with the background elements. Different blues are not working together nicely at all. This is the difference between an amateur trying to make a professional photo or professional poster compared to what you saw before. The ones you saw before were at least professionally executed, even though they looked pretty bad. This one looks pretty bad all around. Lighting issues. I can't imagine that's Jason Momoa even on that body. It looks so out of place. Oof. Barbie. Margot Robbie has been having a hard go at it as far as box office goes. Babylon bombed. I don't really know where things laid out with Birds of Prey, but I don't think it did well. Birds of Prey box office. Gross. Ooh, yeah, Birds of Prey made $205 million. It probably didn't cost that much, though. Birds of Prey did not seem like a very, large movie. Yeah, it only cost $82 million to make. So, doubling it, it probably turned a little bit of profit. But still, that's pretty pathetic. Pretty bad numbers, especially when, what did Suicide Squad costs or Suicide Squad box office. I'm sorry, The Suicide Squad. Nope, it's just the Suicide Squad. God, these stupid names. I can't even find it because it's just bringing the newer one up. Oh, yeah, Suicide Squad made $746 million. That's a massive leap from what Birds of Prey pulled out of its ass. So yeah, that's not good. She was in the Quentin Tarantino movie. I would imagine that made money, right? Even though I didn't care for that. That's one of the only Quentin Tarantino movies I thought was a big miss. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Made $374 million. That definitely made money. I can't imagine it costs more than $100 million to make. Budget was between 90 and 96 million. Yeah. All right. This is a tough one. So Barbie costs $100 million to make. Pretty steep for a comedy. I don't know how popular Barbie is as a brand anymore. Not that it necessarily matters now, because this is definitely geared towards older. Okay, you know what's a good one to kind of compare to is the Baywatch movie. Baywatch movie box office. That came out because I feel like they're kind of in similar humor style and look. So that made $177 million. I think that's probably a fair place to put Barbie. I think Barbie is going to make less than $200 million. So it will be considered a box office flop. Margot Robbie is very pretty to look at. So is Baby Goose. So are some of the other actors in this thing. But a comedy / I don't know if it's a musical. It looks like there was musical numbers in there. That turns people off. It's not going to do Cats levels of bad, but I think it's going to be shy of 200 million, and it's not going to make its money back by the time you account for marketing and whatnot. Do I think it's going to be good? I think it's going to be okay. Do you remember the Flintstones movie with Halle Berry's the first person that comes to mind, but what the hell's John Goodman? That's probably a pretty bad movie that I thought was okay at the time. That's, I'm guessing, what Barbie's gonna be. You'll watch it, you'll be like, what the fuck am I watching this for? It'll stay with you a little bit. You'll know it's bad, but you watched it and you were kind of entertained. That's what Barbie is. I don't think it's genuinely gonna be good. I think that's it for... Oh, as far as this poster is concerned... I mean, honestly, this is kind of fun. It's different. It's the iconic bee, and you have them posing in kind of their plastic positions. They did a good use of, putting the names right where you need them in the colorful spots. When it's coming out, you clearly know what the movie is. It's a decent poster. It works. It works well for the brand and what it's trying to sell. Okay, that's it for the posters, and that's probably it for this episode because it's running late. We're past 12. We did a lot. Let me shut these off. Boop. I don't know if any super chats came in. It'd be nice if we got one or two while I was rambling forever. Now's the time to do it. Ask a question if you want, or give your thoughts on these movies coming out. Which ones you think will bomb? Put in a super chat. Say, Adam, these are the ones that are going to bomb. These are the ones that are going to do well. I'll read them off, and then people that aren't live right now get to hear me say it out loud. What a fun treat that would be for you. Bubba gave a $1.99 super chat. What's an average or normal movie budget these days? Well, we could Google it. Average movie budget 2023 or 2020. Let's go 2022. You probably find a good middle ground. The average production budget of movies distributed by independent studio A24 has been fluctuating from 2013 to 2022. Production costs soared in 2020, a total of 13 million US dollars. Oh my God. So this is saying the average cost to make a movie is between 50 million and 100 million. A low budget can cost about 30. We see what the high budget can cost. I would say 60 million seems about appropriate, but we're talking about big, huge blockbuster movies, so they're always going to have 100+ budgets. Hack the Movies with a powerful $10 super chat. This movie should bomb, but everyone will go to the movie because they forgot Kathleen Kennedy is involved. Get ready for more complaining about her for another 4 years after it comes out. 4 years is being very generous, Tony. You and I both know that these channels, they feed off of toxic Kathleen Kennedy and Brie Larson energy. It's their life force. It gives them sustenance. And for some reason, their viewers just continue to eat it up over and over again. It's quite amazing. Quite remarkable. Okay, I think those are the only super chats I saw. Let me give you that quick little that quick little Adam Does Movies announcement. So I have been hearing for months from people that they love The Cringe. I can't do The Cringe because YouTube hates The Cringe, and viewers either love it or hate it. There's no middle ground with this show. But I am going to bring it back because I love it. Not to my channel, though. It is going to be a Patreon/YouTube member requirement. And we're going to do it at the $10 a month tier. One will be guaranteed every month. I would like to do 2 a month, but 1 is guaranteed. And tomorrow I'm filming 4 or 5 episodes, so I will already have them scheduled out for those months. They'll be evergreen. It's not like it's on a topic. They'll probably be about 8 to 10 minutes long each. It's going to retain all the same flavors of the old show. I'll still have the green screen. I'll have the classic background. I really enjoyed doing that character. It allowed me to have some fun with the comedy, do a little bit of acting, and have fun writing some of the stuff out. So if you really like The Cringe, and you already are a Patreon at maybe the $4.99 tier, the $5 tier, $5 more, get into the $10, and you will start getting The Cringe. Where are we in May? So June 1st will be the first day The Cringe will come out. I'll probably do a commercial ad thing on my channel after I get those filmed and edited. Then I'll make an announcement on the actual, not the live, obviously. Yeah, YouTube join members and Patreons will get that. That'll be another feature, another like perk to get you to a little higher. And yeah, I'm really excited to do it because it's been a long time since Khaleesi Grimes has shown up. And it's just not the same when I say strong female leads as it is when because you can just see the passion in his eyes and not the dead inside that I have. Oh, man. Hopefully someone jotted down these. I should have been writing down my guesses. I guess I can right now. I can write them down really quick. So Flash is going to... The only ones that are going to bomb are going to be Blue Beetle. I'm going to put a bomb. Kraven. Barbie. I think Aquaman 2 is going to be on the precipice, but I think it's going to make money. Because the first one did so well. I can't see them dropping 50% in their audience from movie to movie. That seems like way too much. Even though it's been a long time, Aquaman's Didn't that come out in like 2018? It did come out in 2018. Man, that's been a long time. I mean, it was basically 2019. It was in December. But frick, we're going on 5 years. Wild. Wild stuff. Okay, that's it. It is late. Thank you guys for watching. I'm going to be busy all weekend. Lindsay, she's taken over all my social media stuff. I should probably end there as well. She does Instagram and Facebook. I haven't stepped foot in those areas in years. She's kind of bringing them back to life, which unfortunately means I'm doing a lot more content for YouTube Shorts, TikToks, Instagram story crap. I don't know, whatever it is. But the idea is to wake people up and to get into the algorithm there to push people to the YouTube channel. Push people to the podcast that comes out on Mondays and just kind of get me out there more instead of hidden away in the corners, in the bowels of YouTube once in a while talking with Hack the Movies and not really doing anything else. That's the goal. But yeah, so because she's taken over, she sees all the stuff I should be doing and I'm not, and she's yelling at me. So that means I'm working a lot more on this stuff. Which I guess is good for you guys. Okay. Yeah, this was fun. I'm gonna go to bed. We'll see you guys soon. I don't know if I'll have anything tomorrow. I might be just batching a lot of stuff for the week. But you'll get a notification, hopefully, if you have the notifications turned on. And we will see you real soon.